Yeah, we're back. We're in it. We're finally at one of the, like, nice parts, I'll call it.
Yeah, man.
When was the last nice part?
Like the middle of
like the beginning
battles.
Of the Golden Age? No, there was the rape.
I mean,
After
like,
that?
well, yeah, like while they're fighting and stuff, it's like pretty normal at least. It's just like battles and shit, like doing their thing.
Yeah, but like,
it's been miserable for a while.
Even the whole like, I'm trying to remember the parts where they like fall off the cliff together, Casca and Guts. Oh yeah. By the way, we're talking a lot about Casca and Guts. In fact, that's what this whole episode is about. Essentially,
all it's about.
Even when they fell off the cliff or something, I wouldn't call that a nice moment. All that stuff that happened. No. So, yeah, no, this is a nice moment. So we're gonna start off with chapter 45, confession. I guess episode, right? Episodes are what they're called.
I have no idea.
I think they're technically called episodes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read something about that. Yeah. Okay.
So as a refresher, Casca was like, "Come with me for a bit." Guts is like,
because Guts is back.
Yeah.
Guts is back. So yeah, we know Griffith has been captured and stuff. That was a while back, but last we heard, Guts was back to help the remnants of the Band of the Hawk, now led by Casca, because Griffith has been captured, and they are devising a plan to go get him when Casca, they find out where he's being held or whatever, and they're starting to devise an idea or plan on how they're going to get him, especially now that they have Guts back, and Casca wants to talk with him, and that's where we left off.
Yeah. So they leave it, like, I love how she's like, "Come with me for a bit," and he's leaning on the tree, and then like the next shot, it's like this beautiful fucking scenic waterfall. Like trees and shit. Like,
this has definitely been porn. Like,
oh man,
trees.
This chapter, I mean, for multiple reasons.
I mean, it's
this
like literal
episode is like the fantasy.
Yeah. It is a really cool image though of the waterfall, like with a bunch of different rocks jutting out or whatever, and how it's
like the tree roots going down the cliff face and stuff. Like, it's just
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, okay.
It's just cool.
Show me those roots, shit. Baby.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's so naughty. Look at those roots.
Holy shit, they look so effective at absorbing nutrients and water. Oh.
Yeah.
She gets right into it.
Yeah.
Literally, she's like, "Defend yourself." What?
First line.
Man.
And it makes sense. The way they left off wasn't necessarily on great terms. With Griffith being beaten, and like they obviously had something to say to each other, but instead he walked off with her kind of stunned and like sad.
Yeah.
Not great. Not very great at all. So yeah, we figure, okay, well, finally we're gonna like get some talking done. And no, she literally means defend yourself, because she draws her sword and attacks him.
And she like fucking attacks, and he's even like, "Yo, you tried to kill me." Like, you're fucking striking.
Yeah, there's that great image of like he reactively just like turns while like taking the sword out of its hilt enough to like block the attack.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that shit is so cool. Look at his fucking arm.
But like, look at their faces at the bottom, where she's just like determined, and he's like, "Oh fuck."
He's like, "What the shit?"
It's not often you see scared Guts.
Well, this whole like all these like, hold on, hey.
Yeah.
And then fucking like just skipping ahead a tiny bit to the next page where he's like, oi, fucking stop.
Oh my god, yeah, he actually is saying oi oi. How did I miss that? That's hilarious.
It's so good, dude.
Yeah, that must be a weird translation thing.
I mean, like, I say oi.
All right. That's
People say oi.
Sure.
Cool people. Gut says oi. I feel better about it now.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's that cool, on the same page, actually, there's like the cool single panel action shot of her swinging and like him moving out of the way. And like, yeah. It's very good. Cool. It's like if every fight was like this, there'd be a lot less blood and guts. It's still very cool, but nobody's eyes are being popped out of their head.
Yeah. Well, and he just trips her. Like, he doesn't, obviously, he's not like trying to fucking run her through with a sledge of iron. Like,
no, he like obvious. So that's the thing, right? There was a point where they weren't necessarily even ever, but definitely when he joined, she was maybe scarier or in some ways, but like he is very easily just moves out of the way and kind of makes a fool of her. Like, he could easily just murder her if he really wanted to.
No, it's not even fucking close.
Yeah, it's
like when a younger family member turns on the controller in Smash and you decide to have mercy on them.
Honestly,
make it a bit of a fight.
Like, jump off the edge or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how different this scene looks, and like she is trying, which is kind of the crazy thing.
Well, we learn like it's your fault. Like,
yeah, she blames him for everything that went wrong.
Literally, like, you destroyed all of it.
She's not wrong.
I mean, like, kind of. Yeah, dude.
Obviously,
I can't. Why is it not showing me my page number up top?
Yeah, which one?
That's frustrating. The one where they're clashing swords and they're like face to face.
179, I think, is the one you're looking at. Where she says Griffith, the Hawks, everything, you mess it all up. That one, that page.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 179.
Yeah, that shit's great.
Yeah,
and like, Guts clearly does realize like he's fucking dense as hell.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
Like, just like, I mean, it's a good shot, right? And
yeah,
like, this whole thing just, I don't know. The emotion is just so good. Like, with Guts not realizing, Casca just being like, yeah, this is all your fault, like, literally. And Guts is like, you can't be serious. She's like, you're an idiot. Like, you didn't realize what Griffith thought of you.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Maybe this is like the first time we also realized that he is just an idiot. Like, I thought maybe up until this point he was being coy about it or something, or at least realized that like Griffith really respected him. But like, no, he he has no idea how much of a profound impact he had on him.
Yeah, and this is him realizing, like, or being told, I guess. He's not even really realizing. Like, he needs to be told during a fight, like, just how important Griffith, like, or how important he was to Griffith. And like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, we get it here. Like, you know, you made Griffith weak, all that stuff. And yeah. It I don't know if we even here, like, there's not quite the full realization that like Guts kind of maybe misinterpreted what Griffith was saying about like, totally. Oh, my only true friends are those people who blah blah. Like, Griffith didn't also, like, as we've discussed, like, that guy has maybe two emotions tops, so like he's not using his words either.
Totally.
But like, Guts heard that and he's like, shit, well, I want to be his friend, I gotta do this. And he didn't even it didn't even cross his mind to like bring it up, you know?
Yeah.
And now it's like, no, dude, like, you did mean that much to him. You were already there. But he like couldn't say that and you didn't ask. Like, fucking dudes.
Yeah, totally. There's some great shit going on here. So they're having kind of the sword fight, and well, she's having a sword fight. He is just blocking all of her attacks and looking pensively about what she's saying. Yeah, there's great just dialogue here. A person's heart can't be sustained by ideals and dreams alone is really good. And the whole fact that, like, the reason this all happened wasn't because, like, necessarily you left. It's because you ever were here and you were the chink in his armor, right? Like, you made him weak and you made him useless without you. She literally says, Griffith's no good without you.
Yeah, dude.
And
like that.
There's a cool scene right there where she, like, finds purchase in his armor as well with her sword.
Yeah.
And
dude,
like,
that
at that moment he's just like, oh shit, and just grabs it.
That scene is like, it's fucking up there for me, like, it's in good. The entire manga. Like, it's so fucking good. Yeah, so he, like, she says Griffith's no good without you, just like for people not following along. And then we get Guts like having like the metaphorical like eye widening like oh shit moment, and then
the light bulb moment. Yeah,
and flashback to Griffith like with Guts's footprints walking away, and like Griffith is on the ground in the snow, and then the sword going in, like Casca makes contact, and then the next fucking panel we see him with this like holding onto her sword, and she's like, that's crazy, you should have been able to dodge, and he's holding it there, like blood running through his fingers, and she's like, that's enough, let go. And he fucking like just keeps it there. It's so fucking good.
It's very good. The literal representation of the metaphor of her stabbing him in the heart like happening it's fucking amazing. It's really good,
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, fucking, well, he's saying like, what else should have I done? Like, I did what Griffith would have done. I did my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's funny because it's an intense conversation, but he's still kind of an idiot the whole time. He's such a moron.
But he means well.
Yeah, no, totally. The thing he is good at really is swinging that sword and basically nothing else.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
And then
that's great. This is Casca's breakdown.
Well, and she says like she admits that she knows it's like true. Like,
yeah,
it's not Guts left, but like who's responsible? It's like a who's responsible thing, right? Like, Guts left and that sparked it, but like Griffith also should be able to fucking calm down. But yeah, then we get her kind of going into like how she clearly also feels about Griffith, and she's like, yeah, I told you I wanted to be his sword, but like that was a lie.
Yeah.
I just wanted him because he's not a god and I'm a woman.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole scene is kind of the cathartic release of her kind of still resenting him. I was going to say hate. It's not hate. It's resentment for everything that happened with Griffith and like the band here of him leaving. But maybe more importantly, him showing up. And I'm just looking for the line because I know she says it here. Hold on a second. I finally understood clearly that day a year ago there was no longer room next to Griffith like the way there used to be or whatever. The fact that he pushed essentially everyone out and then left that void there. Like, she just doesn't forgive him for not only breaking Griffith, but kind of breaking everybody in that way.
Yeah.
Especially her.
Well, and she, so like her dream has died like 3 times now.
Yeah.
Is basically what she's getting at. Like, yeah, she couldn't be, you know, a woman for him because Charlotte, because he wants to take the throne or whatever. She couldn't be his sword because Guts was there. And like, now there's just nothing left.
Yeah, what she got left with was trying to pick up the pieces of the shattered remains of what they had, which is whoever survived the attack, essentially, and trying to keep the Band of the Hawks somewhat together on like a dream, essentially, or a hope. This whole, so you kind of see it happening almost when it's too late, but she's kind of like more wistfully talking about how like it's all over. This is like really depressing scenery or whatever. And then you see that she's like walking to the cliff face. She just kind of like throws herself off or whatever.
Yeah, I'm so tired, you do the rest. And she like just kind of fucking lets herself fall.
Sad.
It is, dude. Like, just
I
fucking
get it.
Exhausted. Like just a whole
I get it. Yeah. Ugh. This is really hard scene. It's really hard. But so like that's all depressing. There is something so nice about the page of 190 after she throws herself off. Just the like one panel. I don't even really necessarily care as much about anything else. It all kind of adds on to it. But the one panel of him like grabbing her gauntlet or whatever is just like, I don't know. That's just really, really tough. That's a tough panel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's intense. Like this whole thing is. And even the text, and there was one more thing I realized that day. Though he destroyed everything, though he took it all from me, even though I hate him, even now, though I feel like I want to kill him. Like,
yeah.
Well, she's hanging there and Guts is pulling her up. It's intense.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Guts just fucking like, don't go near a cliff again, you fucking idiot. Just upset, like, not even like pausing to take into account like the gravity of what just happened. Like, you fucking idiot.
He's so stupid. He's so bad. Like, yeah, he definitely lacks, I don't know, human empathy in the proper way, I think.
He just knows how to swing that sword, man.
I guess if you're able to murder 100 men, you probably lack empathy, just in general.
You lose it at some point,
or you
before
lose
that
it.
Moment. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the way his childhood was, he probably didn't have much time for stuff like that. So yeah, it's actually kind of sad to think about.
Yeah.
And then we get the twist where he saved her, and now she like is saying how you're always bleeding or whatever. Yeah,
you're always bleeding.
You're always
because
bleeding.
Of me. You're such a fool. And then she's crying, big fat anime tears.
Yeah, it's gonna sound so creepy. I really think it's just like such a cute, pretty panel, even though she's just like bawling.
Oh no, like totally, like it's the vulnerability or whatever, I guess. Like it's
it's so creepy to say though.
No, I know what you say. I know what you're saying.
Beautiful sadness.
I love her tears.
I love it when you cry.
It's fucking damn. Didn't know I was doing a podcast with Cartman. Oh, your salty tears.
Yeah. Yeah. We know where this is headed. Like it's. If you are looking at the panels or if you've read it or whatever, you kind of know where this is heading. And sure enough, there's a 6-panel spread, which is kind of not a thing Miura does often because he likes to encapsulate a lot of stuff either in one panel or like have weird.
Well, after the tears, she like donks her head against Guts's chest. And then he's like holding her a little bit and her it progresses.
Yeah,
as you would expect.
Slowly lifts her head up and they kiss or whatever.
That 6 panels is like very good.
Yeah,
it's very like, it is something we haven't really seen before. Like, it's tender. Like, it's very gentle.
From anybody.
Literally from anybody.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's like,
dude, there hasn't been like it's all just been assault at best, and like whatever the fuck Griffith and Charlotte did, that was like,
I mean, that was just lust, like animal lust or
it's
whatever.
lust, but like she didn't seem into it at first. It worked out fine, but like it's still,
it definitely had
rough
feelings of like, I don't think I'm ready, but Johnny's gonna leave me before the dance if I don't put out.
Yeah.
Billy says all the girls he's been with before put out, but I don't know, Becca. Yeah. It's like that feel for sure.
Yeah.
She's
totally
not super into it, but like he is, so I guess I'll do it.
We're ready for this now.
Yeah.
But this just fucking pure
the first
AF.
Consensual, like
the first
anything really. Oh, that's so rough to even say, but it's true.
Pretty bad. I mean, technically, Griffith and the Noble were consensual.
I mean, that's wrong for other reasons.
No, it was consensual. There was a business contract.
It's true. I actually don't hold, like, I think people, if they want to fuck for money, should. I'm totally for it.
Yeah, like that dude is disgusting. Don't get me wrong, but like,
yeah, that's
the act itself is like whatever.
That's I mean, but like it's still kind of not consensual because the power dynamics are he has money and power and Griffith wants it, so it's still like a sort of rape in its own way.
I could see it. Yeah,
but yeah. At least Griffith made the decision to go with it.
Yeah. It's
yeah. We should stop talking about bad shit in like actually beautiful moments.
It's a good moment in front of us. Then it's them on the ground in front of the fucking waterfall, which is like, that background is so good. Like the muted grays and like the white.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, it's very, very good. That is definitely the cover of the Harlequin romance novel version of Berserk. That scene, that panel.
Yeah. We get some more introspection from Casca.
And that ends off this chapter proper.
And then we start the next chapter exactly how we want.
Yeah. I don't know actually if we've talked about this off air or like on a podcast, but I'll just repeat it. This is finally the chapter that, if I've referred to it on here, is the one that like I was reading at work and I like turned away from like any area people walk because this chapter is fucking rough, and you do not want people watching. This is essentially just nudity. It's
rough in that it's just anime titties. Not even like in a bad way necessarily, but like
no. Yeah, definitely not in a bad way. Yeah, no.
Eventually it gets a little weird, but like, no, this is
as everything in this fucking series
does. You can't let it go for too long. Like, I mean, Casca's like the fucking goat of anime manga women. Honestly,
so it's so weird, right? Because legitimately, I really like I was saying something about like just making a joke, but it's kind of not a joke, about something like sloppy big titties or something on like a stream earlier today. And like I was laughing about it because it's so like dumb and gross and funny to say, but like I really do kind of enjoy just like weird, stupid, huge tits for anime girls because it's like kind of silly and fun or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Casca is not that, and she's so fucking hot. It is ridiculous. It's like unfair.
The way that like, so we have this big 2-panel spread to start out the first chapter of Wounds.
Yeah.
And it's like them laying, well, Guts is like over her and Casca is laying like against a tree, hot as hell.
Look at those.
You
roots.
imagine she's on those leaves and shit. There's like ferns,
those giant thick roots engulfing her body.
But even on the next page where we get like the shot of Guts from the back of it, and it's like just looking down at her.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a good job of like, part of the reason why she's so attractive is because they don't, like, Mira doesn't go like full fucking anime on it, right? Like,
not at all.
She has like muscles that you would expect from someone who has literally spent the majority of their life fighting on the battlefield, and like both her and Guts, but like Guts is our ripped protagonist or whatever, but like both of them have just a shitload of scars. Like their bodies are also like beat to hell, as you would expect. I fucking love that. Like,
yeah,
that's how it makes her even hotter.
No, yeah,
like,
for sure. Also, this is where we really see. Oh, right. Yeah, Mura like actually studied like human figure drawings and stuff. Because he draws her like a real person, and like with his shading and stuff like that. Like especially like her form and stuff on this page, on page 198, the one that you're talking about with him kind of over her or whatever. She doesn't have like the weird anime tit cleavage, like roundness or whatever, like, because she's kind of like holding her tits down, right? So they're kind of squished and like, but yeah, she has like the muscles in her arms and like the well-defined what's it called, like abs, but not abs, like abdominal area and stuff like that.
Yeah, just in general, like she doesn't have a fucking weird 8-pack like Guts kind of does.
No, she has like
definitely does
a more like, I don't know, feminine roundness, but not in the way that like she ain't thick, like that sort of thing, right? You know, yeah, everything about her is like, actually, I just noticed it's kind of a weird juxtaposition because her face is super stupid anime, and like her body is super like, oh, they got a nude model and he like actually just drew a human.
It's actually hilarious how like, I mean, it fits, but it's like fine. If you cover up her head and just look at her body, like it's not what you'd expect at all. How like soft it looks. Yeah. In comparison.
And this continues on the next page as well, where she's there's a panel where she's putting her hands up to her forehead or whatever. And the way like he draws kind of like her muscles and the way her like breast lays and with her arms up and stuff, like it's very real in a way that, again, I don't think actually works well with the face. But whatever, I get it. If I was him, I would want to spend a lot of time on this part too.
Yeah.
Okay, besides all the nudity stuff, there's like actual shit going on here. There's conversation.
Yeah. I mean, we're circling back to like kind of Casca as a woman, right? Yeah. And even like Guts mentions her scars and like, oh shit, this is from the arrows a year ago, or like there's little ones, there's big ones. And Casca's like immediately self-conscious and like they're medals for mercenaries, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm still a woman. And he's like, yeah, no shit, you're a woman. Like, I feel that to the bone.
Yeah. He says like some fucked up shit too. It's like, you get all jealous, you're mad fast, you quick to hit. You're plenty womanly, he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. This line is really, I've known people who've cut themselves or whatever. So this line is really rough too. Nobody lies their way into a body with this many scars. Just like, fuck. That's so rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great shit. I don't know. The tenderness and like the conversation stuff here is so nice. It's a beacon. It's an oasis in the desert of just brutality that we've been facing. I remember reading this actually and being like, I couldn't stop reading. I just like kept flipping basically. I was so into this part. But the whole time it was making me anxious. There's an anxiety that I get in this part because this is actually just a problem I have in real life. I have anxiety issues and panic attacks about stuff, primarily because even when I'm enjoying stuff, I can't stop thinking about how it's going to go bad. Like even right now, I have a new kitten. He's not even a year old. I can't stop thinking every time I'm having fun with him about how sad it's going to be when I have to put him down or he's dying or something. Like, it's a problem that I've lived with forever. And that translates to this because I know it's going to go bad for both of these people in some way. And it's just making this part hard for me.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And
which sucks.
And again, that's like, I'll bring it up. We can tick the box, right, for fucking Berserk bingo. Like that's why watching those or like getting the first 3 issues is so important. Like,
yeah,
that's a huge fucking part of this series is like
knowing
the futility of
bad.
Shit.
Yeah,
like it's I think it was probably like the first episode we did. Maybe I talked about it super early about like Norse myths, right? You fucking know Ragnarok is coming. You know how it goes down.
Yeah.
But you got a full book ahead of you of like Norse myths or whatever, like all these stories.
Yeah.
And it lends a completely different tone reading about like Thor fucking chugging part of the ocean or whatever at the giant castle. Like doing this cool shit when you know how it all eventually ends. It completely changes the tone. But yeah, it's definitely reading some of this. I'm like, I get it's such a thick layer for some of these parts.
Yeah.
Especially this. Someone even on the Reddit a while back was like, they posted a picture at the end of this chapter and they're like, I did it. I finished the manga. I got the happily ever after.
Yeah, I get it, dude. I fuck it. Because there was a part of me that didn't want to stop, like, didn't want to keep reading after this stuff happens. Like, there was, oh my God. And I just realized, because we haven't talked about it yet, what this eventually leads into is some of the most heinous shit, too.
100%. It's fucking...
And I wonder almost now if the reason why that stuff hit as hard was because of this chapter. Because I didn't care as much in the Black Swordsman arc in chapter 1 to 3 or whatever, episodes 1 to 3. I didn't care as much because, like, I was in. I can do bleak. I can do fucked up. I can do demons. I can even do kind of like weird, just like terrible, evil shit happening or whatever. What I can't do is immediately go from something that makes me happy into the like helplessness feeling. That's the stuff that triggers me. And I think that's what really did it. Because like, I don't want to get into spoilery stuff really, but the next episode that when we talk, we're going to be talking about kind of some more good shit, some more cathartic shit. Like they're going to, like we're going to get the Griffith stuff, right? Where they like ostensibly save him or whatever. Like spoiler alert, Griffith doesn't die yet or whatever, because obviously he doesn't.
Yeah.
And like, that's all great. And then the thing that then we get to what'll be volume 11, and it's just a demon that doing demon shit, and normally I'm kind of okay with it, but it's on such like an uptick, and then it goes so fucking bad immediately that it's hard. It's real hard.
Yeah, no, and that I mean, when we get there, we'll get into it. But
yeah,
like,
totally.
it's just so rough, especially coming after this.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is that don't ever be happy, and you'll never be disappointed. That's my life advice from Paul.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah,
it's an oldie but a goodie. Them having sex is like really good. I mean, aside
my hand agrees.
Aside from being just hot as shit, like it's just so well done. Because we learn that it's like the first time for both of them.
That makes sense, though. Well, let's be real. It isn't it's the first real time.
It's the first real time. Yeah. And just like how they, I don't know. I like it, just the little sound effect. Like it's clear, like all we get for noises, right? It's not like it's a fucking hentai shit. Like it's them breathing or making like little noises that would be normal, and like they need to fucking communicate some stuff because like neither of them really know what the fuck they're doing, right? And then I mean some of it's just hot as shit, and then we get to like the part where Guts gets PTSD.
This is real. So luckily I have a lot of problems. Luckily this isn't one. So I can't imagine how life ruining this is for people that suffer from PTSD triggers and shit.
And that's honest to God, like, I mean, you don't want to see it, right? Like it hurts to fucking see, but like I'm so happy that this is here. Yeah. Because it doesn't make it feel like it was just a fucking like, oh no, Guts got raped as a kid, moving on. Like it's a thing that fucking lasts with him. And if you don't come back to it ever, then what are we doing? You know, it doesn't make this about trauma or like anything that's happened in your past. It's just big guy has sword and like fucks Casca later.
Totally.
So the scene of him, like, you know, he's having sex with Casca, she's against the tree, and then it like shifts from him to being his child self
with the gag in his mouth.
It's fucking, and he like needs to fully stop, and he's like just kind of without thinking like has his hands on her neck because he's like reaching towards his child self. Like fuck, that shit like breaks you.
This is so it's a really good it's a lot of really good shit happening here, but it doesn't come without like that price for sure. Fuck. It is so brutal. The way it's drawn and everything too.
Well, yeah, and it just goes from like something so nice to like just actual terror. Like honestly, kind of the scariest thing we've seen. Yeah. Like in a way, because it's just so rough. Yeah. Like we get the eyes, he's like fucking seeing Gambino with his head and shit, like literally just pure trauma response, like kind of choking Casca until he realizes like what he's doing. Yeah. And we get like, she's like, why? And he just is like fully into his own head. Like the picture of him standing over her where he's shaking and he's like gray shaded. I again can't see page numbers for whatever reason. It's not showing me on my like the file name, but like actually terrifying.
Where who's gray shaded? Donovan?
Guts. I skipped ahead a little, like going past that. We can circle back as well.
No, that's fine.
But like this whole Like this whole sequence is like terrifying.
Yeah, it becomes a horror like immediately. Yeah, it's insane. It's yeah.
And we even like honestly for like I'll circle back to the title page for Wounds Chapter 2.
Yeah.
Where it's literally him dragging as a child, like Kid Guts dragging his bloody sword, and there's literally a trail of blood just coming straight from the tree where he was born under, like with all the dead people hanging in it. Like,
yeah,
fuck,
it's so cool. This is check get your bingo cards out and check this square. I want this on a poster. It's so good.
It's really well done.
Yeah, it is.
It's just fucking brutal. And then just him about like and like still fucking circles back all the way to the fucking Black Swordsman Volume 1. Where he's remembering Gambino saying you should have died. And like just how fucking like after a certain point, literally just every single fucking person he meets to a certain extent hates him or wants to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, is what we see in Black Swordsman, right? That Teresa's saying, I'm going to kill you. And then he's just like, oh, it's fucking rough.
It's so rough. There's the great, like, image of him seeing what he sees or whatever, of him, like, choking his child self.
Yeah.
And then it like cuts back to reality, and the image of her like kind of grasping at his arms as he's holding her against the tree, choking her. The way the tree and like the environment is kind of bending as if it was like a fisheye lens or something. It's just super disturbing. Like, that's such a fucked up angle to draw from, and it just feels super unnatural and weird. And the
awesome. Like the shading in the, I don't even know what to call it. Like the weird, it almost looks like it would be raining, but we know it's not. You know, the weird, like all the lines coming, like just, you can almost hear like the fucking music cue, you know, of like a descending like strings or something. Like it's so well done to elicit the effect that it does.
Totally. It's super, super cool. Yeah, this whole part.
And then
fuck.
Yeah. Guts just realizing, saying,
like
I didn't want that. I didn't want that to happen. I didn't mean to kill you, Gambino.
Yeah.
And then like for a big black shadow covered me. He forced me. Like I couldn't resist. I couldn't do a goddamn thing. Like fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like explaining all of it to Casca and stuff, right? Like we kind of he's explaining to Casca like the stuff that we as the audience have already taken in, unfortunately firsthand.
Yeah.
And he says Gambino, and then he says father.
Yeah.
Does that, and like I don't know, dude. It's skipping, I guess, quite a bit ahead, like going through this. Where he calls Gambino father, and then on the next page after that, when Casca touches his neck and he like fucking wrenches away and like up, like it's heartbreaking, dude.
Yeah, where he like kind of realizes like, oh shit, maybe this isn't the best time to talk about it.
yeah. He's like, I did something horrible. This was your first time, but I did that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll go now if you tell me to get lost. Otherwise, I swear I'll make it up in battle.
This whole scene is great. So like, yeah, when she kind of is like trying to console him or like touches him or whatever while he's kind of having his break, and he snaps to attention. It's just like, embarrassed and sad and like all that sort of thing, and he's trying to kind of explain himself or whatever, and it just takes like 3 or 4 pages of him like looking away from her and just like talking about like that's kind of almost making excuses about it in some ways, and just kind of like talking about it on like just his side or whatever, and she like slowly walks up behind him and just like hugs him or whatever.
Dude, it's fucking top tier.
Yeah, it's really, really good. It's so fucking good. The scene of, or the panel, page 228, right before she hugs him, with him just like the stream of tears rolling down.
Dude.
Ugh. So hard.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal, but it's also just so fucking well done. Like,
yeah.
The Miura gave the right attention to this, and I feel the right treatment of it, you know?
I agree. Yep. I don't think this would have felt right without that trauma coming up.
It would have been, yeah, no, it would just, it makes it like, yeah, irrelevant. Yeah, just, it trivializes it.
Yeah.
Like that sort of experience. Cause like I've even just like scrolling through Reddit or just reading whatever else, like this fucking happens to a sad number of people. Like, and it would be, I feel like it invalidates that shit if it doesn't happen here with Guts.
Yeah. Totally. And then weirdly, maybe not so weirdly, because I'm no longer a fucking child, it went from hot to incredibly sexy, because now it's like all the shit's out or whatever.
She says like, I've already shown you everything. All my weaknesses have been laid bare. Now I feel like we're even. But you're right. It does get incredibly fucking sexy when she licks his bloody wound. I also was aroused.
Yeah, man. That's good shit. That's some good shit. No, it's just they continue fucking, but like it is incredibly sensual now.
It's super sensual, dude.
Yeah.
And like it's so fucking good.
Yeah. They do the 2-page spread, which is great, but also terrible when you're reading at work.
No escape, baby.
Yeah. It's pretty like, oh God, yeah, we gotta just scroll past this page. Oh God, this page isn't much better. So the 2-page spread, the bottom right panel, that's all I'm gonna say. Those arms. Those arms say everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this whole part is cool. So these last
backs don't arch like that without purpose.
Yeah. I'm just saying those are some locked elbows.
Yep.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
So the last episode in this one are parts 1 and 2 of like kind of this arc-ish or whatever. And it's called Wounds. For obvious reasons. So the PTSD stuff and all that sort of thing, and also like the literal wounds, I guess.
Yeah.
With the licking. I really, I know it's cheesy, but like, I think that line, I too want a wound that I can say you gave me, is just like, okay, that's pretty good,
dude.
That's a pretty good line. Dude. Yeah. And, this is kind of an important moment too, where Casca realizes that like maybe like we are meant to be here or whatever, and not just as me like being the one giving everything, or not just him like saving me, but maybe I can help save him as well. Like they're becoming a couple here essentially. And then it ends with kind of an introspective look from Guts, where he recalled the moment that Gambino gave him the medicine after he got the shit kicked out of him in sparring or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it's just a really good final scene of like them laying together and him remembering like they like being healed, right? Like a memory, and for us seeing a visual representation of healing happening. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really good stuff. Yeah.
Are we going into the next? We were gonna do the next
Sparks
chapter as
from
well.
a sword
Sparks
tip, right?
Yeah.
So
just the first
straight
thing
up
of
that
the next
ends volume 9.
Yeah.
For anyone also following along. I don't remember what Sparks from a Sword tip is. Yeah, we should, because it builds up.
It's still just them.
Yeah,
ass naked talking about Guts's stuff.
Guts's giant sword, in more ways than one.
Yeah, his big sword.
Yeah,
it's too big.
That we never get to. So listen,
dude. They didn't have him hang dong. I'm also disappointed.
I love seeing every inch that they give us of Casca. I want to see that giant sword.
I mean, it would be fair.
Yeah,
it would.
Basically, I just want porn at this point. I guess I guess that's just what I want.
It was too big and unwieldy to be called a penis.
500 pounds of pure meat. Like a fucking pig carcass.
You want to see you want to see my sledge?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Super weird.
I mean, we get some like a little post-coital talk.
Yeah,
just kind of like, feels like it's not my own body. That was your first time too. Blah. I like that blah.
He kind of admits that like he doesn't like being touched because of the PTSD thing, except that first night when they met and she had to like lay with him or whatever to keep him warm by Griffith's orders. That didn't bother him for some reason. And like he doesn't even know it, but like obviously like the next panel just shows her smiling or whatever. So she likes that. She likes it. She's
into it.
Yeah. And I think they just talk about kind of where he was, right? For a bit.
Yeah. Where I've been, he says, waterfall, that's right. There's one there too. Cass is like, huh? Where I've been holed up the past year. And then we get that nice flashback of just a fuckload of goddamn tree trunks cascading over the waterfall at Guts.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand what the point of this was, because like so the drawing is somebody saying here it comes and cutting a rope that lets loose a bunch of tree trunks or logs or whatever down like a waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like is he trying to cut through them? Like this just seems stupid.
I don't know if he's even trying to cut through them. I think it's more about like both dodging but also like I guess blocking practice. Cause like think of the force that you would have to be stopping or not necessarily parrying, but like, pushing away from you, like pushing off so you don't get fucking wrecked. I would think it's more for that sort of practice. Cause I mean his sword, like your sword's broken. Yeah, it is.
It's just so fucking stupid, though. Because, the next panel is him waking up to her over him.
He's not. I don't think is he waking up?
Yeah, he's like.
I thought he was just. I thought he was just like laying there, though.
Well, she wasn't beside him, so there was enough time between all this happening where she came down from the hill at the top of the waterfall to meet up with him.
Maybe he just didn't want to move after that.
Yeah, I don't blame
That was
him.
that was my take, but like, yeah, I could see it either way. I don't know. Guts is an idiot. He's like, fucking throw the trees at me.
He's so stupid. Yeah. And like even in the next panel there's a like blacksmith dude. So we see that we get kind of like a setup shot of where he is, and it's just some cabin with a water wheel by a stream kind of in the middle of nowhere, whatever, nothing around. And the dude that is, I guess, forging or fixing his sword or whatever, like a blacksmith at an anvil, just says something about, you act like you're dead and then you almost go kill yourself. It's like, yeah, what a fucking moron.
Yeah. Yeah, Godo, the blacksmith.
Oh, is that his name? Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, Godo. Dude's great.
He is. Yeah.
Why are you a blacksmith? My family's been blacksmiths since my great grandfather's days. Do you like it? Don't know.
Yeah.
Like, just that classic, like, that's what you're doing now. We're blacksmiths.
Also, you probably appreciate that last panel on that page being Russian and all, with the hammer being held up. So I get it.
Yep, that's
comrade.
That's how that works. Tovarish.
Yeah, Goto's great because he and Guts are very similar in that Guts swings a sword and that's what he does. Goto doesn't know necessarily that he likes what he does, but it's what he knows, so he does it.
Dude, it's just like a simple, I fucking appreciate it so much. It's almost a thing to strive for. Before I could decide if I liked it or not, I hit the iron in front of me. After that, I was so busy trying to improve and craft better stuff that one day I woke up an old man. Simple enough. Like,
yeah,
that's fucking great.
Yeah, totally. Like, I wish I had that draw. You know how you meet people and like you ask them like, what do you want to be? And they don't know. And then they end up like, I don't know, being like an electrician or something. And they're like, nah, no, I don't love it, but I understand it. So, and it feels good, like being good at it. So I get better at it and then I get paid more. It's crazy. And you're just like, how do you find your thing? And they're like, I don't know. I just did it or something.
Yeah, dude.
I wish I had that because I've tried so many different things and I fucking hate all of it.
Yeah. No, that's I feel that. There's like nothing I'm even with, like, I just had to outright lie for a while, like at work about like teaching and stuff. Like, oh, like, so what made you want to become a teacher? I'm just like straight lying through my teeth. I'm like, I don't care about this at all.
I honestly love kids as you're talking.
Well,
teaching
no,
adults.
It was yeah, no. I love working with kids.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I understand that because like I don't the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And I just never I could definitely see myself as the type of person to just stumble into a thing. Like if somehow I had stumbled into becoming an electrician or whatever, I'd probably be fine with it, honestly. Like I don't really care too much one way or the other, but I'd be fine. But like I didn't even like stumble into anything like that, you know? Like I don't want to go seek out like trade school to become an electrician.
Yeah, totally.
But I'd also never ran into anyone along those lines to like it just never happened. So I ended up in Russia.
Yeah, as all broken dreams do.
Just another discarded broken shell of a person.
Yeah, you know, Russians. Yeah.
Yeah, but we get the, you know, the thing is sparks from a sword tip, and we get Godo saying there's one thing I like about being a blacksmith, the sparks.
Yeah.
Get engulfed in them.
Yeah. This whole line is super good. I get engulfed in them. It feels like my own life for an instant is springing into the air before my eyes. I have a feeling that is like a craftsman thing, because I've definitely heard similar ideals of people just being like, sometimes it's like not great, like being a carpenter or like building houses or construction or whatever, but it feels like I'm in control of my own life when I can build a house or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like there's just like a physical representation of like what you do or something. And I totally get that, being somebody that works a lot on the phone, through email, and through spreadsheets. There's not much of a physical representation of what I do. There used to be when I did warehouse stuff and I could physically like see at the end of my shift what I've done. But like,
dude, like even at the, I mean, this is I've talked with friends who are like in actual like trade jobs that require a little bit more like knowledge and whatever.
Sure.
But even just like working at the factory and stuff, like there's nothing as sexy as sparks, but like
sure,
that last box going onto a pack.
Cheese isn't as sexy as sparks.
When the crumble rolls off the conveyor belt and it
of course
fills the table, and you have to scream at the miller to stop because it's overflowing. Yeah, that's how you know you're alive. But no, like seeing putting the last box on a pallet and getting to wrap it up and like watching it, like it's that simple thing of like you put the last piece on and you know that you've completed an order or whatever. Like that physical feeling. It's good.
Yeah.
And I don't get that either. Like I get to fucking link a document and like click a button to mark it as done. Like, it's just not the same.
Totally. Yeah. So I mean, what he's saying here, I get, where like it might not be the greatest job, might not like it ever, in fact, but it fills him with like some sense of like, I don't know, that he exists like for a reason or something.
Yeah,
I get it. And this is kind of like, it's probably good that we're talking about this chapter, because this is kind of a bunch of important stuff about, this is where Guts realizes that like his sparks are the sword, right? Like, that's the thing. He has some introspection here about how all there is for him is existing and like using his sword, swinging his sword, like literally, basically, and how who needs a dream? Like, really.
I mean, he kind of realizes that like what Godo said is how he's kind of been feeling like inside. So it's, I mean, we see something like, I don't know, like, because I just watched it, it's very easy to make the comparison Dragon Ball, right?
Okay.
Goku's whole thing from like the very beginning is just like, I want to fight someone stronger. I'm going to be stronger. I want to like keep getting stronger. Like Guts doesn't really realize that that's kind of what he just wants. Like that's his version of honing his craft.
Totally.
Is like finding stronger people, becoming a better swordsman and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like getting just better in general at it's a simple thing, right? It, like he even says, it's not some lofty ideal or whatever,
right?
But like that's what I like.
And his whole thing is that it's enough to exist in that instant, really. Like it's enough for that moment, like the sparks, right? They exist for an instant and then they're gone. But like that's enough for Godo. And maybe like the fact that he's getting stronger, he fights with people or whatever. Literally like the sparks, I guess, from clashing blades or whatever, like those are he's doing that. He's making those sparks with his sword. He's fighting people, like, and that's enough. That's his thing or whatever.
Yeah. And it well, it cuts back to Casca because like he's still, you know, talking about it, but like he wants like specifically to get to like fight opponents, you know. He says like, if I stay like with the Band of the Hawk or the Remnants or whatever, like there's not going to be any lack of battles.
Yeah.
Well, that too, or that, you either end up in the castle or like getting to there's no lack of battles, but like fucking name an opponent that's given me any trouble except like Zod. A fucking demon.
Also, maybe most importantly, he says from now on every battle will be my own. He's sick of fighting for people. He wants to, like, he's swinging the sword. There's a reason, like, he wants to be part of that decision, why he's doing it or whatever.
And then the best part is that it's followed up by Casca fucking laughing
at him?
literally like has to like hold herself and like hold him, and she's like, that was so grandly spoken. It must have taken all the brains you had. So good, dude.
Yeah, I love how this turns too, where like, so she's laughing at him, and then she kind of looks at him in like a sexy way, and it's like Griffith, really. And then she throws a bunch of shit at him and says, you and Griffith are the same. It's like one of those like fucking men. All men are the same moments, and it's hilarious.
After all, you and Griffith are just the same. It's all about dreams, all about yourself. It's the same whether or not I'm around. You're just going to leave again, right?
Yeah. It's so good. We have to talk about the panel where he just gets up and grabs her boob. It's so good.
Yeah, go then. Hey, go fight by yourself. She's like about to hit him, and she's like, go and die with your beloved sword, you bastard. Fucking
that face is so
her
good.
Her face is absolutely top tier, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
the situation is great, but it's that face that does it.
It's also such a perfect, like, I guess it's not super subtle, but like even if you go from like the previous page, then you look at like her and her face and her body, even like he's just removing some of the detail for like the sort of exaggerated thing. It works so well, and like it's just that little bit. But I mean on her body anyway. But then even at the bottom of the page again, the panel below that directly, like you can see the detail is back. And it's just like
the
it's
bottom
really
right panel where she's saying what, like that face is real good. Yeah. Also, there's not many opportunities in the Golden Age for levity and kind of silliness, which we didn't get a whole lot of it in Black Swordsman, but I can definitely tell Puck is that character, and we don't have that character here. So I think Mira has to take those opportunities while he can, in moments where it would kind of work or at least make some sort of sense. I don't understand why Guts did what he did, but I mean, I'm never going to pass up grabbing a titty, I get it.
To make her stop. Oh, dude, it's so good. I'm going to drown you in that pool before someone else kills you. And then he's like, but he needed her to stop because he's like, come with me. Look at that fucking face. Look at his stoic ass face. Zero emotion. Come with me.
I know. It's ridiculous. It's so fucking ridiculous.
But yeah, we find out like he wants Casca with him on this journey.
Yeah.
And then he like, you know, because Guts is a fucking crafter of words.
Yeah.
Fucking whether being with you will get in the way of what I want to do or the opposite, I can't tell now. But at any rate, right now, I can't have enough of you. I want to have you hundreds, thousands of times.
Yeah.
From there on, she's like, stupid.
Dude, I get it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, whatever. Who hasn't joked with like their significant other where it's just like, yeah, I just use you for sex or whatever, and then you're like, oh, you're dumb or whatever. Like,
dude, whenever me and Ani get like mushy or whatever,
yeah,
right,
you got to break
like,
it up
just
with
about
something
like,
rude,
you know, what do you like about me or blah, 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 something, I don't know, just like to a little uplift at the end of a rough day or whatever. Or someone like, you know, oh, you're such a good person, or you're like, man, that was really good, like this is such a smart thing, blah blah blah. It's like just skip past all that, like big titties.
Yeah,
that's what I'm here
floppy, for. Sloppy titties. Sloppy titties is just hilarious to me. I don't know. That's been my go-to recently, and it just because it makes me laugh every time.
Here for those big old slobber bags.
Exactly.
Then I get fucking punched. Gotta cover up the bruise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
like, no, this is a good, like, he's just being a...
What do you say to people?
Guy.
I ran into the door.
Oh, man, I should learn how to say that in Russian. I tripped into the doorknob. Oh, that'd be pretty good.
The top of page 23, them like having a kiss or whatever, just super sweet. That's such a sweet panel.
We get the faint outline of Guts' surprisingly normal sized dong.
Maybe even a little smaller than I thought.
He's got that Greek physique, you know?
Yep. I mean, whatever. It's probably cold.
As you know, so that's actually one thing I wanted to say now that we're like kind of past the nudity part of this.
Yeah.
Such a good job, just because throughout this whole chapter, at least, you're not even really focused on the fact that they're nude, you know?
Oh, like, the only thing you're looking at is like them being naked, you are missing the point of what's going on.
Like, I can't, the page where Casca throws the leaves and shit in Guts' face, and at the bottom she's like fully naked, like everything is fully drawn, and like if you're not even like the page itself doesn't even pull you to that at all. Like you're looking at her face because like she's fucking having a moment.
I mean,
and
I
like,
definitely saw everything at some point, but yes.
Well,
right.
no shit.
Initially.
Like, but yeah, like as you're reading through, like, I mean, we all take a little time to admire, but
who isn't going to look
like,
at some puss when it's there?
Oh,
Come
shit.
on.
But it's such a good job of like, I mean, they did their stuff, right? They had their fun, but now they're just like, here, they're naked. And it doesn't, sure. I feel like it almost, by them staying naked, like it feels less like it's for the reader. Because like they're out in the fucking woods. Totally. If I was in that position, I'm not putting my fucking clothes back on. Fuck that.
Especially, I think a big part of it too is that Miura gives us opportunities where the nudity is for the reader. There are panels where they're fucking and it's just hot. So like,
yeah, totally.
We have that moment, but we also can have a moment where they're naked and having a real conversation about real fucked up shit that happened in their past and how they want to kind of move past it together with each other. And like, the thing is that both of those things could happen if you give them the right time and spaces for that thing, without them interfering with each other. And I think that just in general, that works here. But this is kind of the last we see of them for now in this chapter. Because
I'm so glad that the manga ends with the fade out of them kissing by the tree.
Yeah, who would have thought that such a happy ending would be here, especially after every bad thing I've heard. No, this is the part that got me excited. Yeah.
3 days prior, in the dense forest along the Midland border, an extraordinary event took place.
Oh,
to see those fucking woodsmen like cutting down a tree. Foresters caught sight of something. It emerged from a valley deep in the wood, a silhouette against the setting sun of some giant serpent-headed monster.
If you didn't read the fucking Black Swordsman, you don't know.
Yeah, you're not like, it's just, you know, dude. It's fucking so good.
Yeah, and then the way it ends of just like, now something beyond human knowledge has begun to stir.
Yeah, and it's so the Beharit like in the water.
In the water.
The Griffiths Beharit that the dude threw down the vent or dropped down the drain or whatever.
Yeah.
On that panel with the serpent, I didn't notice this before, but I just decided to zoom in now. You can actually see that like the snake's head is like open and there's a human head like in the mouth.
Yeah,
with the tongue coming out.
I didn't
notice that before.
I mean, obviously you have insider knowledge, unless there's like variants or whatever. Like you can have more than one type of dog and them look the same is what I mean. Like if there's other demons that are snake people, then sure, but I'm sure that's that guy.
I think it's in a position where we can just like, I don't know that it's addressed, but you can headcanon it pretty easily.
I'm assuming every demon is kind of their own thing, right? Like the major demons. I would assume.
Yeah, we don't. It's not like we see like 4 different snake people who all just made the deal or whatever.
Okay, that's what I figured, but I wasn't sure. So, okay. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a way to end though. So like we get some really nice shit and then we get kind of the like ominous, oh shit, I know that guy. Oh god,
Yeah.
it's the egg of the king.
And this is where, yeah, I mean, next time we'll be starting out with fucking infiltrating Windham.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because, like, even before, I guess, like, this whole volume, like 9 and then even 10, like, the anime really expedites this whole thing. So,
yeah.
like...
I was going to ask
think
you, how do they deal with, like, a whole volume, essentially, which is 2 of the main characters fornicating?
They just, like, don't...
Yeah,
I forget. I think a part of it is like I forget how much they actually. I don't know that Donovan appears at all, so I don't know that we have like the trauma portion of things.
Oh,
I it's been a while. I can't fully remember.
I mean,
think
that's
they
why
don't
we're doing
have
this, right?
much of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been like a long time. But yeah, the anime, like I think at this point it was. Like you're by the time you're at this point in the anime, it accelerates so fast that you're like, I can't stop watching, and you have to like finish out the series or whatever.
I could see that, yeah.
Because they roll through so much of this, and part of it is because like they skip a lot of the demon stuff. Like not everything, but like when you know that you're not getting into it, why show plot shit that's going to eat up 4 episodes, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, we don't get a hot cut of waterfall sex.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
but no,
next time
next time it gets brutal again.
Yeah, next time we get to see what happened with Griffith, because it's been, I mean, well, as we learned throughout these last few things, there's been a time jump since they hung out.
Full year.
Mm-hmm. So, what's he been up to? Is he he's still just dating Charlotte? Is still a crazy man on campus?
I guess he's probably just been hanging around.
Yeah. I mean, we will quickly learn that he's not hanging
he's not
much
doing
anywhere
anything these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that our plan for the next episode is pretty much like the entire infiltration stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is going to be okay, and then it's going to go to shit. So stay tuned.
Yep.